Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been so long since I posted a new video, but today I wanted to make something different. So today I wanted to show you how I made this. Now, here in Blender, you might have something different. I have a startup file different than yours, so I don't have the cube, the light, and the camera. Don't worry, if you have those, just press A on your keyboard and X and delete. Delete everything so you have a clean slate. Now, what you want to do is press Shift and A on your keyboard, get a text, press Tab to get into edit mode. I'm going to type subscribe. I'm going to press Tab again. And now I want to go to this tab here, the Object Data Properties. And the first thing I want to do is center the text, horizontal and vertical. So it's in the center of the scene. Okay. Now that I did that, I'm going to go to the font and I'm going to use a font. So here you might get problems because Blender for some reason hates the Windows fonts folder. I don't know why, and I have no idea how to fix it. The fix I have for you is to make a copy of your fonts somewhere on your computer where you can access the folder. So you get the fonts from Windows Fonts and make a copy somewhere else on your computer. This way you have your personalized fonts. For this button, I use this font here, Archive Regular. So I'm going to click on it and open font. So as you can see, the font changed. Now that I did that, I'm going to go to the geometry and I'm going to extrude it by 0.09 so I can get some depth on it, or I can get 0.1 so I get more depth. Now what I want to do here is give it a bevel. So I'm going to use the profile and I'm going to get this point somewhere around here and this point somewhere around here. And for the bevel to show up, I need to give it some depth. So I'm going to give it a depth of 0.01. And as you can see, I have a cool bevel for the text. With the bevel set up and the text set up, I'm going to press R on my keyboard, X, and I'm going to type 90 on my numpad so I can rotate this text on the X-axis by 90 degrees. So it faces the Y-axis or the front view. If I press 1 on my keyboard, on my numpad, I get the front view. So after I set up everything, I'm going to get a cube. So Shift A, Mesh, Cube. This cube is too big, so I'm going to press S and Y, and I'm going to scale it down a bit. Then I'm going to scale it on the X-axis, and then I'm going to scale it on the Z-axis. I'm doing this by pressing S, Z, X, or Y. What I want to do now is move it a bit backwards. So it encapsulates the font, but not too much. So I have a bit of depth, right? It's very important after you do scale, rotation, and transform on objects, it's that you press Ctrl and A and apply transforms. Because if you don't apply transforms and you want to bevel, extrude, or some stuff like that, you're gonna get some weird results. So going ahead, I'm gonna press Tab to go to edit mode, and I'm gonna press 2. Pressing 2 is going into edge mode. So you have face mode, edge mode, and vertex mode. Each of these icons is connected to 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard. Okay, so I press 2. I'm going to select this one. By pressing and holding Shift, I can make multiple selection. So I selected everything. Now I'm going to press Ctrl and B for bevel. And as you can see, I have a 1 segment bevel, and I want 10 segments. So I'm going to scroll up until I get 10 bevels. If you wonder how I know if I have 10 segments, on the bottom right here, you're going to see some numbers and some text. Now, I also want to bevel this edge loop here. So to select the edge loop, I'm going to press and hold Alt and I'm going to select all the edges here. And I want to do that in the back also. So I'm going to hold Shift, hold Alt, and press here, so I can make a multiple loop selections. Now I'm going to press Ctrl B. I'm going to bevel, but I don't want 10 segments, so I'm going to scroll down until I get 2 segments, and I'm going to make a very small bevel so that the edge here is going to stay sharp when I do shade smooth, okay? And as you can see, you have a much more smooth edge. And as you can see right here, we have a small artifact. So if you don't want to see that and the light is going to affect it, I'm going to press tab and I'm going to press 3 to go into face mode. I'm going to select this face and this face by holding Shift, and I'm going to press Y, and I'm going to make a small inset. This way the weird artifacts go away. So that's pretty much it for the modeling, so to speak, of this button. It's pretty simple and easy to do. Now, what I want to do is add a camera. So I'm going to press 1 to get in the front view, and I'm going to press Shift A, and I'm going to go to camera. I'm going to press 0 on my numpad, so I'm going inside the camera. I'm going to change in here. I'm going to change the focal length of the camera to 24, and I'm going to press N, item, and I'm going to move this camera about 5 meters back, about, I think 4.4, I think it's enough, 4.6, somewhere right, minus 4.6. But what I want to do next, as you can see, this is the view of my camera, but I don't need this space. So I'm going to go to the output properties, and I'm going to change the resolution, X resolution to 128. And I'm going to make this as small as possible because I don't need that much space. So I'm going to make it 460. This way I don't have to render too many pixels, okay? I'm going to go back. And in here, what I want to do is going to filter, and I'm going to enable the selectable. So this way I can't select anymore the camera and I cannot move it by mistake. Now I'm going to add the light. I'm using an area light, so I'm going to scale the light. I'm going to press G and Z, bring it up a bit. I'm going to press G again and Y, and I'm going to bring it somewhere around here. I'm going to press R and X, and I'm going to rotate it somewhere around here so it's aligned with the camera. And now if I watch in the render view, not much changed because the power of the light is quite low. It's 10 watts, and I'm going to bring this to 250 watts. And apparently nothing changed because I made a mistake when I applied the scale. So now I made the power 250 and I want to make the spread 90. This way I get a harsher shadow at the bottom, as you can see. So now that I set up all of this, all I want to do is give this button some colors. So in the shading tab, I'm going to select the button. I'm going to press on new here, and I'm going to change the base color. So I'm going to go with a red color, dark red color, somewhere around here. Okay, and now I'm gonna change the metallic value to 0.25 and the specular to 0.15 and the roughness to 0.2. This way I have some reflections. So I have the metallic to 0.25, the specular to 0.15 and the roughness to 0.2. If you want it more reflective, you go lower. If you want it more rough, you go higher. Now that I did the button, I can do the text. I'm going to do the same thing, select the text, go new, base color, and all I want to do here is make the color a bit darker, and that's it. Now I'm going to go back to the layout. As you can see, now I have some colors. And if you go closer, you can see somewhere around here, I have some reflections of the text, which is a nice touch. I feel like this button is a bit too dark, so I'm gonna up the power to 350 so I get more, so the scene gets more bright. I'm ready to animate this, but before I animate, I want this to be constrained to this box. So I'm gonna click this. I'm gonna go here to the constraint. I'm gonna add a constraint and copy transform. I'm gonna get the eyedropper. I'm gonna click on the cube. As you can see, this gets messed up. In the mix here, choose before original. So this way it gets to the normal shape. Now if I want to move this, I can move it all together. I'm gonna go to the animation tab. And in this tab here on the left, I'm gonna press 0. Pressing 0 gets you to the camera view, okay? So I can see what the camera sees. And I'm gonna work in this tab here. At the bottom I have the timeline, and I can access my keyframes. Now I'm gonna select the cube. And at the frame 24, I'm gonna make a keyframe for the Z location and the X rotation. So this is gonna be the resting pose of my button. I'm gonna go back 6 frames, somewhere around that. And I'm gonna put this button a bit up, somewhere around here. And I'm gonna rotate it somewhere around here. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit more here. I don't want to get over this line here because then the button is gonna get cut off, and I don't want that. After I made my selections, I'm gonna put a keyframe here, and I'm gonna go back to 1, and gonna make the button disappear at the bottom, somewhere around here. And of course, I want the rotation to be the other way around, so when it comes up, it comes clockwise. Now, with my keyframes made, what I want to do, I'm gonna press Shift and Spacebar. It may be different for you, but this is my shortcut. If not, you can click this this button here. So if you hover it, it's gonna say what key shortcut you have. Now, so I'm gonna limit the animation to 30 frames. And now, what I want to do is make this animation a bit smoother. So I'm gonna try some interpolation values. I'm gonna make this linear. No, linear it's not good that way, sorry. I'm gonna make this Bezier and maybe this one. So easing, I'm gonna make this ease out, ease in. So something like this. But what I want here is that the text comes a bit faster. So to do that, I need to go to the graph editor. Now that the animation is set, what I want to do now is make the box disappear. So I'm gonna go back to the dope sheet because it's easier to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna make this longer, maybe 94. So what I want is the button to be stopped on screen for at least 2 seconds. So that is gonna be 72 frames, from 24 to 72. So 48 frames is gonna stay here. So what I want to do is copy these keyframes, Control C, Control V, Control C, go maybe 4 frames, 3 frames. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste this. So from 72 is gonna be on 86 is gonna be the final keyframe. So I want it to come slower but get off screen faster. Maybe it's too fast. So I can make this even longer. Maybe 90. Yeah, I like it. So it comes slow, goes out slow. somewhere there. So now I'm gonna take a look, and maybe from here I'm gonna render for the start at third frame, even though I have the keyframes there, so I don't have unnecessary keyframes to render. 85. So pretty much from the third frame to the 85th frame you have to render. So you have to render only when the button is visible. Now that we did that, I'm gonna go ahead and render. And after that, I'm gonna show you how to use this this video in After Effects or Premiere, maybe in After Effects. Either one is good. So now that I finished everything, I'm gonna take a last look at it in animation to see if I messed up something. Light looks good. Okay. So I'm gonna go to render properties. I'm using cycles, GPU compute, and for the max samples, I'm using 256. You can get away with 240, maybe even 200. You don't need that many samples. In the film, make sure you have transparent setup. Then go to output properties here. Have the resolutions pretty low. This will work even in 4K. So even if your footage is 4K, this button is gonna work well at this resolution. So the resolution frame rate is 24. Frame starts at frame 3, ends at 85. I'm going to select an output folder, whichever they have. I'm going to change the file format to FFmpeg video. I'm going to go to encoding, and I'm going to use Quicktime. Quicktime is an Apple plugin. So if you don't have that, make sure you download it. I'm going to put a link in the description if needed. So I'm choosing container QuickTime video codec Qt RLE/Qt animation. And I'm going to use RGBA. This lets me have a transparent background. Okay. So once all that is done, all you have to do is render and render animation. After the animation is rendered, I'm going to see you guys in After Effects. Now that the video rendered in Blender, I am here in After Effects. I'm going to show you how to use said button. So I made a composition 4K. I have a composition here. I got an image of the internet on Unsplash that will be my footage, so to speak. So I'm gonna make something like this. I'm gonna make something fast for seconds, so it scales over time. And now I'm gonna import the .mov file we just rendered in Blender. I'm gonna put it on top right here, so nothing happens, as you can see. So when it appears, I am gonna drag it somewhere around here, so the line is a bit below the footage. This way it looks like it's coming from the footage, as you can see. So with the original file, you'll have it's gonna be a bit longer, so all you have to do here is maybe scale it down, position it here, I don't know. So you can position it here on the left or in the center, wherever you want. So that's pretty much it you have to do here. Now I'm gonna leave you with it. Have fun with the template. Hope you like it. I know it's a simple one, but after so much time I haven't put anything out. I wanted to create something in 3D, and since you guys seem to like buttons, subscribe buttons, I wanted to make one. More it's coming in the future, so stay tuned, subscribe, and maybe give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna see you on the next one.